Hi class 7. So welcome back to the chemistry class once again. So now till date we have known about the atoms, right? So what are the atoms? Atoms are the smallest particles that are present in the nature that contain all of the property of a compound or a element, or we can moreover in widely we can say which contain the property of the matter, but it cannot exist freely in the nature. Now after we combine two atoms together, because they are in a disadvantageous condition, they cannot exist freely in the nature. So how they are going to utilize this nature or the force of nature? They are going to combine together. They are going to combine together to form another substance that is called the molecule. Now this molecule, they are very advantageous in nature because why? They are stable. So how we can state a molecule? A molecule is the smallest particle of a element or a compound, or rather we can say a substance which can exist freely in nature and will contain all of the property of the said substance. Okay, so let's write it down. Molecule, what are the properties? They are the smallest particle contain all the properties of a substance, and they can exist independent independently in nature. Okay, so how we just now say that two or more atoms, they combine together to attain another form, a bit bigger form, that is the molecule. Now from there we can say that the molecules or the atoms of the same substance can aggregate together, while the atoms from the different substance, they can aggregate together. So here from there we can say molecule can be of two types: molecules of the elements and the molecule of the compound. What are the difference between them? So how these molecules of element are forming? When two or more atoms of same element are combined together. Okay, so when the atoms of same element, two or more atoms of same element are combined together, how we can take an example? Let's say oxygen. Okay, so here two oxygen atoms, they are combining together, atoms of oxygen. Okay, so oxygen is the O is the symbol of oxygen. They are combining together to give rise to another particle that we call a molecule, or its symbol became, or its formula became O2, and that is the molecule of oxygen, one molecule of oxygen. Molecule of oxygen, and this is an example of the molecule of element, because oxygen is an element. Now exactly opposite of this can be what? When two or more atoms of different elements are combined chemically in a fixed ratio by mass. Okay. So what are the conditions for becoming the molecule of a compound? First of all, two or more atoms of different elements should be there, and they should be combined chemically in a fixed ratio by mass. So every element, they have some mass number or they have some mass itself. Okay. So when we are combining the atoms of different elements, atoms be it 2 atom or 3 atom or more, when we are combining them together, we cannot combine them just naturally. It needs to be chemical reaction. Okay. So we are combining together the atoms of different elements in a chemical reaction or chemically by what? On the basis of their mass. Okay. And it should be in a fixed ratio. Let's take an example. When we are talking about water, the formula of water is H2O. Why it is H2O? Because here it contains two atoms of hydrogen. Okay. So this is the H1 and H2 atoms of hydrogen. And they are combined with what? One atom of oxygen. Okay. Now these two elements, they cannot be react normally or naturally. Then it need to be chemically. They together form H2O. That is also basis on their mass number. Okay. Now when we are talking about the molecules of the compound, we need to know about their characteristics also. So what are their characteristics? They have certain distinct characteristics which are making them different from the elements. Okay. So first one is the property of molecules of the compound are different from their constituent element. That means a property of a compound, when a compound is forming, it is basically forming from 2 or 3 more elements. So it is the product of those constituents, right? So when this compound is forming, the property it is displaying, that is totally different from those constituent elements. Okay, for example, water is formed from what? We will get hydrogen and oxygen. Now this is water. So one molecule of H2O is formed from H2 and O2, right? Now hydrogen and oxygen, both we know are the gases, while water is the liquid in state. So these two are totally different from water, and they have other many distinct different properties. And as it is the result of the chemical reaction, so the resultant of the chemical reactions are generally, in general, we are going to find them, they are possessing different property from their constituent elements. Okay. Now coming to the number 2. A molecule of compound can't be split by any physical method but by chemical methods. So they are formed as a result of the chemical reaction. Now as they are formed from by the help of chemical reaction, they cannot be split so easily. It needs chemical reaction only. Okay, so by any physical method, we cannot split any compound or any molecule of the compound. For example, in case of water, we need to use a procedure called electrolysis to split it into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. And coming to the last one, that molecule of a particular compound show identical properties. Now, molecules in water, the molecule will be of water only. So, each of the molecule or every molecule of a container that is containing water, it will show identical property, while it will show different property if we are comparing one molecule of water with one molecule of carbon dioxide. Both are different compound and both the molecule will show different property itself. Okay. Now for a footnote, we need to know or we need to understand one thing very clearly. Okay. We have already known that one molecule of compound is formed by the combination of two or more elements in a fixed ratio by mass, right? Now we are going to know what this fixed ratio by mass stands for. Suppose the formula of water is H2O. Okay, we know that. Now here, what are the elements that are combined to form water? Hydrogen and oxygen. And the symbol of hydrogen is H, oxygen is O. Now, I have said that every element have a definite mass number. Okay. So, hydrogen have, this is given. Okay. Hydrogen mass number is 1. Oxygen's mass number is 16. Okay. So, how we are going to know how they are forming or combining in a fixed ratio? Here, H2O. Okay. That means 2H and 1 oxygen, right? Or 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. Now, 2 hydrogen. First of all, 2 hydrogen. So here the number of atoms we have taken. That is multiplied with what? The mass number. Mass number of hydrogen. Okay. Similarly, we have done with oxygen also. So, first panel is for hydrogen. Second panel is for oxygen. Okay. So, here one atom of oxygen is present. So, number of atom of O. Once again, the mass number of 16 is the mass number of O. Right. So, from here what we can get, 2 ones are 2 is 2, 16 ones are 16. Okay. Now, ratio means it is basically 2 by 16. So, we can cancel it out. 2 ones are 2, 2 eights are 16. Similarly, here we are going to write 2 ones are 2, 2 eights are 16. Now, this is what we were talking about, a fixed ratio by mass. So, what is the fixed ratio by mass for water? That is 1:8. So, this is what we were talking about. Okay. So, this is it for this class, and in our next class, we are going to know more about atomicity and the question answers. So, thank you for watching.